Hey everybody, welcome back to Record-ology and welcome into the studio. I don't usually do intros and outros in here because it's very cramped. In fact, if you knew what it took to get this shot, you would probably chuckle. Anyway, I'm just thankful to have a studio that's dedicated space. Anyway, today we are going to be looking at a purely fun, unnecessary product, but it should be a fun one. Let's take a look at the Fosi Visualizer. What the heck is a visualizer? You're not going to want to miss this. Something we talk about often on this channel is, as an entry-level channel, what are the requirements? What is the, you need a minimum of this and that. But inevitably, this hobby, I think like any hobby, will veer into the territory of nice to haves. Things that are nice to have, fun to have perhaps, but completely not necessary from the standpoint of playing a record, playing a tape, etc. Also, it's kind of interesting because rarely these are things that I, as an example, maybe you too, didn't even know existed until I saw it. I was like, what in the heck? I didn't even know this was a thing. But then when you find out, you're like, oh, that's kind of cool. That's kind of cool. So this is one such product. The idea is to enhance your listening experience by adding an element of visual entertainment. Now, if you remember back in the 90s, when you pop a compact disc into your PC and let it start playing, there was an option to visualize the music with these cool little dancing bars and shapes and symbols and things. And that was sort of my introduction, I guess you would say, to any sort of visualizer. And there's a lot of elaborate ones now that make use of, retro technology or modern technology. This, I would say, is in the latter camp. It's an LED light device that basically dances to your music. So it's by Fosi Audio, obviously. Hi-Fi made fun. Their slogan there is definitely in practice with this device. It has a 30-day return period, 18-month warranty, lifetime tech support. I always wonder, is that lifetime of the device or of you? On the side, contact info AH-01A. And obviously, we've reviewed a number of items from Fosi. Closed cell foam. I like the attention to detail with the packaging. The dark color foam is cool. There's a line drawing of the unit and the user manual. This is the device itself. We'll look at that. We've got a USB-C cord, a pretty lengthy one by the looks of it. We've got these two little test tubes. They're actually not test tubes. I'll show you what those are in a minute, but they are in fact glass. As you can hear that clink. Real glass, real metal accents, tying into their, solidly identifiable color scheme of black and orange there. Although this actually looks a little bit more copper, these accents on the bottom. And then right here we have these two little circuit boards. Looks like a little USB tabbed plug. Have you ever seen, they were really, really cool like 15 years ago to have like a thumb drive that didn't have the grounding shell on it and just had the board. Those were very cool. Kind of reminds me of that. I don't know if that's what's going on here, but each one of these has 48 ultra bright LEDs, as they say. There are two of them. So we're going to set those aside. I think you have an idea of where this is going at this point. That's all that's in the box. If we pull the device back over here, go ahead and open it up, unbox it. It is made out of machined aluminum, like all their stuff. I mean, if you hold Fosi products, you can just tell the build quality by holding it. It's got good weight. It feels heavy. It feels like what it should weigh. Not overly heavy, definitely not lightweight. There's no plastic on here. It's just very well constructed, and that can be said about everything that they make that I've seen so far. So we've got the two receptacles for the light boards that'll go in there, and then these are threaded. These openings here are threaded to allow the glass tubes to plug in or to screw on there. We'll look at that in a minute. On the back here, we've got the USB-C power supply. I love it's a 5-volt 1 amp. I love the fact that they went with the USB-C because that really frees up wall warts around the place. You can always find a USB available for power. At least I've been able to usually. So having this unnecessary device around shouldn't be too much of a burden on your system if you can find a USB power socket somewhere. Now, I want to point out these two openings. You may be saying, what are those and why are there no audio connections? Well, this has no audio connections. There are no RCA jacks. There's no line input, which is a good thing. Some visualizers do tap into the actual audio signal, but in so doing, you lose a generation of sound going through a device. So even if it's got an in and an out, and it's supposedly passive, there is minor degradation to that signal. So it's always best to either take a parallel audio source and send it into a visualizer, or even better is to have one that doesn't require it. So how can you make it pick up the audio and visualize it without any sort of audio input? Well, that's what this is for. This is actually a microphone opening, and you may be saying, okay, there's two there. You can tell because the two holes, there must be stereo microphones. There's two light board receptacles and tubes, so there must be a stereo visualizer, which sounds like a good idea. However, that's not the case. It's a mono visualizer. There's actually only one microphone element behind these two openings. And I think that makes sense, because if you think about it, even if that was a stereo microphone, on the back there, imagine how close together your speakers would have to be and how unlikely it would be that you would get any actual stereo separation. So yes, unfortunately, your visualizer is going to have two light boards showing the same thing. I'm sorry. I personally am amazed that anybody would even think anything else, but I was reading comments that were on Amazon, and people were talking about that. Some guy actually opened his up to verify that there were or were not two mics. Okay, on the front of the device, we've got three knobs. These are all nice, metal quality knobs as far as I could tell. This one is okay. There's a detemp position in the center, and then it rotates from like 7 o'clock to 5 o'clock with pretty good drag. That's the sensitivity knob. This is the on, off, and light knob. So that's an infinite digital knob, and then it's got a micro switch built in. And then this is a delay knob, just like the first one, with a detemp position in the middle, except whereas this is sensitivity, this is delay. So without further delay, let's go ahead and assemble this. I think it's a blink and you'll miss it kind of a thing. So let's go ahead and insert right into there. And it doesn't want to go in very easily. Okay, it's like very rigid. It's kind of stiff. Oops. I don't like things like this where I know I could, in my clumsy ways, totally break something. It reminds me of putting in tubes, which I also don't like to do. All right, I'm hoping it went in far enough. I think we got it in there. Then we're going to go ahead and put the glass tube or protector thing on top. Looks like a tube. And I didn't even read the instructions. It's a pretty simple device. I think I can figure this out. I think that's about all there is to it. So there it is, assembled. Wouldn't want to drop this. I would recommend this only for adult usage. Those are screwed in nice and tight. Now we need to plug this into a power supply. And I've got sort of a unique power supply in mind. So you've seen this before. We've done a show about this. I've also got the change machine one up there, but this is the cigarette machine, a very, very cool device from New Wave Toys. In no way connected to Fozzy, but what's neat about this, I always use this as a visual display item, but if you flip it around, it's actually a USB power bank. So it's a great way. It's got 2 USB-Cs and 4 USB-As. So this is perfect. I'm going to use this as a power supply for our visualizer just because I can. So we're going to plug it in there, and we're going to plug in the other side down here, and there it goes. It starts up with sort of this RGB mode. Now, filming something like this in terms of the light and the color and all that stuff is going to be tricky, but I'm actually filming this at night to try and help with that because we can kill the lights a little bit more completely. So let's get a good night shot of this, and we'll cycle through the different settings, and then we'll hook up a sound source and see how it behaves to music. Okay, that's a pretty good shot. And as I'm looking at it on camera, the color is coming across reasonably, but it's far more dazzling to the naked eye. So just keep that in mind. We'll try it with the lights off in a minute. The instructions were pretty vague. It just says you could adjust the effect with the knob. And I don't know if that means the speed. I'm going to the right, and we're still kind of RGB scrolling down. And if I go to the left, yeah, I'm not seeing it make a huge change. I think it's still just kind of scrolling RGB colors. But I could click it to switch effects. So, okay. Testing. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then you could probably turn this to change. Yeah. Red and yellow, orangish. So you know what? As we go through these, I'm going to kill the lights so you can see this in the best way possible. And I'm literally just going to do that while the camera's rolling. There is no light except for the visualizer. And it looks blurry and less impressive on camera, unfortunately. So let's change the color a couple more times on this effect. Yeah, it just kind of looks orange on camera, but to the naked eye, it's going through colors. Test. 1, 2. I almost think it looked better with the lights on. Test. 1, 2. I'm going to add a little bit of light back in. Sorry, I'm just kind of experimenting. Fun fact, I use daylight color temperature to light this show, even interior. Okay, that actually, I think it looks better with a little bit of light in terms of you being able to see it. So that's that one. Let's go to the next. See what this one does. Test. Test. It's like a slow decay. And again, you can change the colors. Test. Test. Going on to that. Ooh, that's bright. Testing. 1, 2, 3. And I wonder if you can see this from the back at all. Testing. 1. So the back of those little strips kind of block it out. But I bet you in a dark room that this would look pretty sick. Testing. It's still kind of blurry. I'm going to add one more light. Testing. 1. I can't decide what the best way is to show this to you in terms of, like, it's where it looks kind of like a lightsaber, where it's just kind of this beam of light. To the naked eye, you can see the individual LEDs. It's very crisp. So I'm going to cycle through some more colors here. Just different ways to display it. Testing. 1, 2. Testing. 1. That's just solid. I don't think that one doesn't react to your voice or the audio. It's just going to be constantly scrolling. Testing. Now, we made it around the horn. Testing. Testing. Yeah, I think we have. Testing. 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 Yeah, we've made it around the horn. So those are the different light modes. And let's play some actual music so you can see how this would work in practice. I haven't mentioned this yet, and a lot of you will probably assume this, but I want to explicitly mention it. This is not a VU meter, so you're not going to be able to use this for any sort of volume setting, etc., just by the fact that it's not connected to any direct signal. So it's not used for any measurement purposes. This is purely for entertainment, and should be pretty fun entertainment at that. So let me get an audio source. Let me get creative here, something fun that we can listen to and visualize our music with. So I decided to use this beautiful little Studebaker radio. I love this thing. And I've been looking for an excuse to use this lately, actually. So this is a good excuse. Some of the Studebaker boomboxes, portables I have their own visualizers built in. So that's why I chose this one, because it does not. I don't want the audio device to distract from the visualizer, which is what we're actually reviewing. So I'm just going to go through some stuff over Bluetooth to see how it reacts. I've got some really upbeat, fast-paced stuff. See if it can actually keep time with that, or if it does better with slower music. But here we go. This is all ambient, in the room listening, just like the device is, and let's see how it does. Seems like if you play with the delay and the sensitivity, you can get it to respond pretty quickly. Okay, so yeah, you get the idea. I wish it showed up on camera as well as it did to the naked eye, but when it comes to lights, that rarely happens, even with the best 4K cameras out there. Not that I'm using the best 4K camera out there, but I am using a industry standard one that many YouTubers use to great effect, and it's still not able to do it justice. The color dynamics of an LED are just, beyond what this chip can capture on camera, unfortunately. But it looks great to the naked eye. It looks polished. It looks finished. It's got a small footprint. This actually feels like it came from Fozzy. It doesn't look like they just slapped their name on something. It feels that same quality level. So if you're fitting out an entire Fozzy system with a preamp, a DAC, an amp, and all that stuff, then you would probably be pleased to add this to that Fozzy collection. It would look really, really good. I think it's a cool product. All right, my friends, and that's going to do it. $50, depending on what that means to you. I'll go ahead and put a link down below. And again, totally unnecessary, but it is cool, right? It is very, very cool. Let me know in the comments below, specifically if you have anything that's like a visualizer or some sort of unnecessary but fun way to sort of add something extra to your music experience. I would love to hear about it in the comments. Also, to remind you, we have our custom 45 adapters with the new Blueberry and Pumpkin Spice color set. We also have our new exclusive Record-ology Halloween shirts. We've got all sorts of cool merchandise, and of course, you are always cordially invited to join the $1 membership program where you get exclusive content, early access to videos, a host of cool features. But mostly I just want to say a massive thank you to you for being there. We've got so much product coming your way for reviews. It's really, really ratcheting up, and I'm very excited. As you could tell, we've been doing a lot of videos lately. That's because we've got so much stuff coming out to share with you, this being one of them. That's going to do it for today. I already got to get started filming the next episode, you guys. I literally, as soon as I'm done with this, I'm going to point the camera back at the workbench for another unboxing video. So anyway, thanks for watching. Happy record hunting, and we'll see you next time.